大家好，欢迎来到今年的 DC 粉丝嘉年华，这里有关于 DC 的一切。我是古大白话，是今天的主持人。今天我们有一场专门为中国 DC 粉丝独家定制的环节，一场与 DC 电影制作人和明星的独家跨时空对话。我们也非常开心，有幸邀请到了一位中国本土电影人，他即将与你最期待的 DC 电影制作人和明星一起畅聊 DC 电影的台前幕后，并带来最新的 DC 电影作品的独家消息，你一定不要错过哦。Now, this special session is for The Flash. Already have a few makers and talent online. Let's first welcome the director of the film, Andy Muschietti. The producer, Barbara Muschietti. And the Flash himself, Ezra Miller. Welcome to our session. 今天我们非常有幸的请到了知名的导演，我们的中国电影人靳然导演。我简单介绍一下靳然导演。靳然导演由他编剧执导的首部长篇作品《我是监护人》曾入围23届上海国际电影节、第3届海南岛国际电影节以及第43届美国亚美国际电影节等10多个国际电影节。在此之前，他曾与多位奥斯卡奖得主合作完成了《许愿神龙》《公牛历险记》《冰河世纪5》等多部动画大片的故事开发以及分镜设计。So we have the honor of having director Jing here today. Welcome.
Thank you.
I say.
欢迎靳然导演加入我们的对谈，同时也感谢大家今天留给 DC 中国粉丝的时间。我了解到靳然导演准备了一些问题，希望与我们沈殿霞的电影制作人和明星探讨。那么话不多说，接下来我们就把时间交给靳然导演。
Yeah, before I start, I'd really like to thank Barbara, Andy, and Ezra for joining me for this conversation. And we've all seen Flash on big screen and TV several times. And personally, I think it's such a fun character with multiple dimensions. And I'm really looking forward for the new film, especially this time I've heard you guys going to open up the DC multiverse. So I have a lot of questions. Let's get started. So the first question goes to Andy. So what is it so special about the story that made you want to direct the film?
Well, mainly the emotional aspects of the story were very compelling to me. You know, obviously it's a superhero movie. It's a big spectacle adventure. But what really drove me into it was the emotional power of it. There's a beautiful message in the story. It's also a time traveling story, which is always very, very, very attractive to me. It has time travel has something that is inherently compelling in general, but this one is very special because it's a very intimate conflict. It's about, a boy who's looking for his mother. And that's what was so attractive to me, that emotional drive. Also, working with Ezra was something that was very exciting to me. I didn't know them, and I finally did. And my work with him his work, like our work together was something spectacular. I think I'm very, very happy that we got to work together.
Oh yeah, that's so great. Ezra, you're perfect for Flash. You capture his sensibility, you capture his fragileness, and also the fun of the character. So the next question for you. So Ezra, how do you prep for the role this time?
Andy and I have a Bowflex machine, and we did a bunch of reps on the Bowflex together. Running. I run around.
I quit before time. And you can tell that.
Yeah.
It gets you there. It gets you in character.
He gets you in character.
Yeah.
And then Barry Allen's just there,
Yeah.
He lives in you.
So another question for Barbara. As a producer, what kind of preparation did you do for the film?
Well, we prepared a lot and we were ready to go because we're really good planners. And then a global pandemic hit, and then all the plans went to the toilet and we had to start again. The first part of the process was truly seeing how we were going to keep everything together, and had no parameters because no one knew what was going to happen. But we were all absolutely decided to make this movie, and we all stuck together. Ezra, Andy, our team. It meant that we had to wait for about 6 months, had more time to prep in a way, got the script to a better place, which is always fantastic. And then we started shooting in April, and it's been nonstop, crazy adventure, because COVID, as you know, doesn't make things easy. But we're all so fortunate to be working and healthy. We haven't shut down the movie. We've been extremely lucky. It's luck. So that's how we prepared it, with a lot of luck, and also, you know, Ezra and Andy together have more energy than any human pair I've ever met, and they've kept us all going. Basically, when things were hard, because they are hard right now in the world we're living, they just inspired us and kept us going, and we're almost there at the finish line.
The next question will go back to Ezra. I know there are so many DC characters involved in the film, and Flash is still the center character. The story evolves around him. So my next question is, how would the audience can expect your character's growth in this film? Could you share more about that?
Yes, it constitutes, I think, a very large and powerful arc. I think this is a story that precipitates a lot of change for Barry Allen in more ways than one. And I think it really carries him from being sort of the person who we met in the Justice League films. It takes him from that place of a young person who's come to his powers, but doesn't quite know how to manifest them, who's joined a legion of superheroes, but doesn't quite know his place in the context of it. And it takes him from there to really, in my mind, being Barry Allen, being the Flash, being so in I think some ways it's an origin story and a coming into his own story. So it's a big one, big arc for Barry, parentheses, /S and paren.
So you guys open up the multiverse. So could you tell more about it? Yeah, the world.
I can't tell you a lot of the future of the multiverse in DC, but I can tell you I'm very excited about it. You know, this being like being, you know, as a filmmaker, cracking this acorn and opening the window to new adventures in the multiverse is super exciting. You know, the multiverse has been a thing in the comic book world for decades and decades and decades. And it's, you know, I think it's a good time to take it into the film universe. It's also, you know, very, very special that our multiverse is not just a multiverse of characters. It's a multiverse of films. It's a cinematic multiverse, as you might already know by, you know, looking at the names that are showing up, like Michael Keaton reprising his role of Batman. It's very exciting, and one of the reasons that I got closer and closer to this project, it was like the unique nature of this you know, juxtaposition of filmic lines. So it's very curious. Like myself being like, I stopped. Honestly, I stopped reading comics when I was like 12. I had to caught up a lot with the world of comic books and characters, and Barry Allen did have like an evolution even though the paradigm was always the same as a character, there were his backstory and psychology deepened, and it got just like, so interesting.
The next question will go back to Ezra. Could you tell us more about who the villain is this time?
Ooh. In one way, I'd say there's a few villains or so-called villains who are in our movie. And then in another way, I'd say there aren't any villains, in a way that might be part of the exploration and message of the movie. And I'm going to say those things because together they make no sense. And it leaves it all kind of cryptic and mysterious, which is good for a villain, to have an air of mystery that surrounds them until they pop out.
So I know there are casts returning for their iconic roles, like Michael Keaton as Batman.
What?
So how did you get them involved this time?
By nook and by crook, I'll tell you what.
It wasn't, I don't think it was very difficult. I think
we just sent up the bat signal, Rand.
We just sent
we just called Commish Gordon and we were like,
Gordon.
Listen, put up the bat signal.
Yeah, we pressed the right button.
And he just flew in.
I think he was I think Keaton was honored to come to do this character again. But mainly we sent him a great script. And that is probably the thing that got him interesting. I mean, it's more complex than this, but like roughly that's what it is.
We sent him a great script and a single batarang. Just so he could feel it in his hand.
So I promised him, we gave him a great script, and I promised him great direction, and that was about it.
The waters were warm. He jumped right in.
Yeah, definitely. So Barbara, how is it like for you working with all these great actors, Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, and so on?
It was an interesting journey because I think historically actors that play Batman is a very dark character, and I think once they play the role, they are done. And I think this was a bit of a surprise for both of them in a way. Took them a while to warm up to the idea of reprising of playing this character again, especially Keaton. Keaton had not been Batman for 30 years. Actually amazing to see that both of them, Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, got quite emotional at coming back once they were with us, right? And they got to put on the cowl and the cape. I think they both, felt the small joy that comes with playing that character back, and had fun with it. So it was a great experience.
So next question goes back for Andy. What is the biggest challenge that you encountered during the making of this film?
The length of the shoot. It's we're now in the final stretch of production, and it's been already like 110 days, and we have a bunch of more days to go. And
what
I've done I've done a bunch of movies before, but it was never as long as this. Yeah, the truth is that that's probably the challenging thing. Apart from that, it was all fun. It was very stimulating. I enjoyed every day, every second of it. I had, this like making a movie that has both drama and comedy and action. It's always it's stimulating. It keeps you going. Working with Ezra. I don't want to overkill this, but it was such a it made a big difference working with someone like Ezra.
Someone like the maestro, Andy Muschietti, greatest time of my life.
Who's always,
greatest movie of all time.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like he brings a lot of energy to the set, and it's always like there's always something happening creatively when you work with Ezra. Nothing is given.
I don't give anything.
He wants to, nothing is given as in like, oh, okay, this is the script. This is good.
Drawing blood from a
Let's just
stone.
read the pages. It's never like that, and it's really stimulating because it makes like that escalation of ideas that end up making a movie better. So for me, it was a great experience. It's just, again, the challenge was just enduring the marathon.
It's a rolling out of stopwatch. Yeah.
Apparently these movies take that much to film.
Who knew?
So, Barbara, what inspires you to make the film?
It came with making the biggest movie that I had ever produced. We met with Ezra, and Andy and I immediately knew that we wanted to make this movie. In part because of Ezra. You need a partner like Ezra to do a movie like this. Otherwise, the chances are failure. So no, it's true. It's an epic adventure, and the essential components, of course, were knowing that we had an amazing star, that we had an amazing director who I've known for 48 years. With all those components, we jumped right in, and I'm pretty sure we're coming out of this victorious.
Buscanal, definitely.
Victoria's Secret.
Barbara and her amazing, fierce guidance of our little nest, our little working hive.
Yeah, thank you. Gracias.
Our queen bee.
Gracias, Mama
Lobo.
So there's a question to all of you all. What do you guys think are a delightful surprise for the audience this time about this film?
Asking questions about surprises. It's a classic paradox.
It's a classic paradox.
Because if we told you, it wouldn't be a surprise.
We can tell you there are surprises.
Yes.
We cannot reveal what they are, but it will probably blow your socks off.
Yeah.
They will. Yeah. But I think the least we talk about it, the better. There's excitement behind the cameras about those surprises. But you better not know them until you see them on the big screen.
Thank you all for joining us for today. I really appreciate your time. And right now I'm going to hand it back to the moderator.
What an amazing, and may I say, electric discussion. So now it's fan question time. We have actually collected some fan questions. Number one, very interesting question. Who is faster, Superman or the Flash?
The Flash. I mean, we should talk about, there could be some gray areas if Superman was flying. If Superman had just punched the Flash really hard in the face, then Superman would be faster.
Hypothetically, if there's a chance for you to do a crossover with other characters, who would you want to team up with the most?
Crossover with other characters of DC?
Yeah, me as the Flash. Green Lantern, Brave and the Bold. I really love the series, The Brave and the Bold, where it's Green Lantern and the Flash as like friends. So that's a dream. But wow, there's a lot. Who you want to pull into, who you want to get involved? I think we should meet Rick and Morty.
Whoa, that's my favorite.
Yeah, I think we should I think Rick and Morty and two Barrys should like meet each other in some sort of half cartoon phantom realm.
这就是我们今天的全部内容了。再次感谢竟然导演 Andy、Barbara 和 Ezra， 谢谢大家，再见。
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
谢谢。
好的，感谢各位粉丝观看。 记住，你正在观看的是2021年的 DC 粉丝嘉年华 ，DC Fandome China。我们还有更多属于中国 DC 粉丝的独家精彩内容，请保持关注哦。